Hi there, this is Chris from MoneyHub, and this video explains modifications that make a car uninsurable. So we put this video together. It's quite a niche topic, but we thought we'd better explain it with a guide, which we've linked to down below. But we really wanted to just make it clear around what you need to know. So the first starting point really is to look at your car insurance policy. So for example, we've got Tyres here, and we'll also look at AAs. And so what they say is what we do not include for cover is it's very clear. It says your car does not include any modifications from the maker's standard specs for the model and for the year of manufacture unless we've agreed to this and it's noted on your certificate of insurance. And then if you look at the AA policy, it's something quite kind of similar. Your vehicle does not include modifications we have not agreed to cover. So basically, if you want any modifications covered, you need to get the insurer to sign off on it. And the problem is some of these modifications, if added to a car, can make the car uninsurable altogether. So this is a big problem because people spend a lot of money on these things and they don't look, and then, there can be an issue. So if we just go back to the guide, and as I said, this is linked to down below, I'm just going to walk you through some of the things you need to know, because it's really about minimizing the risk to yourself and making sure that you don't waste money. So there's many modifications that you can make, and they will automatically exclude the car from being insured. So whatever you do need to talk to the car insurer before you make any such modifications, because otherwise you're a risk to yourself, and you're also a risk on the roads if suddenly your third-party insurance or your comprehensive cover is no longer valid. So if I just go through these, and you'll probably have more of an idea than I will for some of the specs on these specific to you, because these are quite unique things. A bit of boost controller, and so this is all about supercharging and turbocharging. And do leave any comments below if you have comments to make around these things. This is going to make your car uninsurable, because certainly it's not something that car insurers want to promote or insure, because it really is about speed, and speed often can lead or is highly correlated to accidents and claims. So basically what we've said here is many insurers won't cover a car if it's got a boost controller. So if you do want to install one, talk to your insurer, see if they are going to let you do it, because that is going to be the first starting point. Now, for internal engine modifications, there's all sorts of things you can actually do there. And what our view is here is that modified engines, they don't really have a purpose sort of other than to maximize the power, and that's of course is a risk to an insurer. So again, it's a question for them. Some modified engine management systems, these aren't so popular, but once again, they're certainly about increasing the engine performance. And so a whole bunch of things around fuel injections and all sorts of stuff. And looking at the productivity of turbochargers is what they do, and just making your car overall go fast when when you want it to go fast. So once again, it's a boring answer, but it's going to be a risk for your insurer, so you need to ask them. Now, you've got turbochargers and superchargers, and these are really popular for anyone who's modifying a car, and basically you're going to get a faster car as a result. What's the insurance issue there? Well, once again, not mixing well, and some policies just exclude them altogether. You're going to have to talk to your insurer and see if they're going to allow it. But, an aftermarket turbocharger, supercharger isn't something that they're really keen on. And I just wanted to say that if any of the insurers do say yes to this, your quote is going to be readjusted. And so you might end up paying a lot more for it. So it's really good to know up front, what you're in for, because it's expensive to do the modifications, and then it's very expensive to also have to pay for the insurance. So just letting you know that up front. Carbon fiber panels are kind of different here, but they're supposed to, of course, lighten up your car. And the problem is that attracts thieves. And so that's a risk to insurers as well. So they might just steal the car outright. They might just take what they can and just leave it there. It's just a risk that insurers aren't really prepared to wear. So once again, it's a conversation with your insurer. Door modifications, that's also attractive to thieves, and basically you need to talk to your insurer if that's something that you're looking to do. Wastegates, so once again, attractive to thieves, and they're really just about controlling power, but these do have some sort of attraction. So fuel modification, just carrying on with that, they are all about making your car efficient or switching it over altogether. Some policies do actually mention this. So a conversion to your car to run on CNG or biogas will be included with this policy, so as long as the conversion complies with the appropriate New Zealand standards. And you can seek out other insurers as well. So some will include it, some won't. It's really good just to sort of understand. So we've said they're excluded from standard policies. Not always, but you're going to have to check with the insurer. So it may be a case of switching insurers. So just be aware that these things are not consistent across all insurers, and we don't go into that much detail with our comparison, like when we look at general, comprehensive, and third-party insurance. So be aware that it's something that you're going to have to find out on your own. Now, gearbox upgrade, how does this work? This is, of course, making sure. So this is, of course, getting a new gearbox. And you can imagine that has connotations of street racing and associations with accidents. So it makes a car high risk. You're going to have to talk to your insurer there once again. And a roll cage, simply something that is almost certainly going to be uninsurable. It implies it's used for racing, and nothing on a street car needs to have a roll cage for general purposes. So straight off the bat, that's probably going to be the most the quickest no that you'll hear from a car insurer, but not always. So of course you have to ask, and racing harness likely to fall into that same category as well, and attract thieves if it doesn't get an automatic no from your car insurance. Now, paint effects, paint interiors, specialized paint, all sorts of stuff like that. That's going to make a car more attractive to thieves. It's going to make a car just, generally high risk. And so once again, talking to your insurer there, if that's something that you want, they may allow it. But of course, with any of these, as I previously said, the premium is going to be adjusted. Suspension changes. So this is going to imply that you may use it for street racing, and so probably going to be excluded from cover, but talk to your insurer there. And then we've got a guide on we've got a further guide what your guide doesn't cover, and that's really well worthwhile just having a look through, seeing exactly what your car insurance doesn't cover, so you get a full kind of sort of comprehension of that, and then you can make an informed choice. So thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comment below, in the comment section below. We've published this to be as helpful as possible. We really want people to understand exactly what the risks are with doing these modifications. They are expensive, and we don't want people to find out that they're with uninsured cars as a result, and not knowing that would be a consequence. So as I say, we want to keep our guides as comprehensive as possible. Do ask us a question. We will respond. And certainly if we can improve the guides, we will. Thank you very much.